Yeah.
We are live. Hello,
Huzzah.
everyone. Welcome to Geekgasm. And tonight we have a small guest panel, but we have a lot to talk about. We got to talk about comics that funded, that just started, and that are going to be starting.
Yeah.
It's going to be a fun night. So let's hit the intro and then we'll introduce ourselves. Welcome back. Hope you enjoyed the intro. I am Lola, your indie princess, and I am the host of Geekgasm. And I just launched my emails pre-launch page on Indiegogo for my book Lore. And next to me, I have Daphne.
Yeah. Hello. Yes. My name's Daphne. And I just finished my Kickstarter today. And I am a cartoonist, illustrator, and comic book artist from New York. I've been self-publishing comics since 1992, so I somewhat know what I'm talking about. And I'm known for the funny animal fantasy Tall Tales and my medieval drama Ego Raven, Heir of the First Unicorn, which, as I said before, funded on Kickstarter and just ended today. And you can read both my comics at Tall Tales, Tails online.com, and egoworks.com, egoworks.com. And you can also watch my videos on how I make these comics on YouTube at Daphne Lage, Lage Art.
Awesome. And underneath us, we have Mr. V.
That's right. It's me. It's me. Back like I forgot something. Back here on Geekgasm. Drug back here. Probably drugged.
And, most likely.
I'm back here.
We're just waiting for the Vicodin to kick in.
Yeah. You guys, both of you got campaigns. I'm excited to be here to talk to you guys about your campaigns tonight. I want to go in depth to and get some information on campaigns, how they run, the mental and physical stress it takes.
Really?
Yeah. Because I know that you poor folks, you start your campaigns and you have like stars in your eyes. You're like, this is gonna be great, and then 30 days in, you're like, hey, I'm
done.
Yeah.
I'm over it.
Yeah. I don't want any more of this. So what is this comic book stuff? Screw this out. Geek Speak loud and proud in the crowd. Hello, Geek Speak.
Hello.
Yeah. I mean, Daphne, I think JD said that you'd been doing this. Oh, by the way, I'm Varian Grant, everybody. I'm kind of a big deal around here.
He owns the joint.
Only because it wasn't like actual money I had to use to own it. But it is, but it's much smaller than like a house note. Which is always anyway. Long story short, Daphne, you've done. I think JD said something. You guys are somewhere close to 18 campaigns.
Yeah, combined. Yeah, that's. Oh, thank you, Nita. Thank you. Sorry. Yeah, I was happy that we got all the stickers unlocked too. So. But about 18 campaigns together. Yeah. I mean, I don't even know if 18, maybe 21 if you count all of mine. But yeah, it's a lot of campaigns.
And I know that yours is cleared. Yours ended today.
Yes.
And he's about to start one right after that.
Actually, his is started. He's halfway to goal already.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's one of the books we're talking about that just started.
Yeah.
That's kind of a cool thing. Like, I mean, you don't give yourself that because, like, I think sometimes if you give yourself that long amount of rest in between something, you don't want to do it. Like, for instance, I'm excited to do Comic-Cons again, but as a part of me that's like, that was a nice year off. That was nice. I mean,
honestly, it was.
I was in the house. Nobody asked me to do anything. To go to the store. It was great. I didn't have to track down zip ties. Get that weird look when I send convention costume Lola into a hardware store to get zip ties. Yeah, zip ties and batteries. You see a woman walk in the store with heels on like that, getting zip ties and batteries. You're like,
Right, yeah. And
Yeah,
duct
yeah,
tape.
yeah.
And an axe.
Yeah. What's going on here? I've often wondered what's the recipe for them to call the cops on me. Like I used to think it was like cooler and axe and lime.
Right.
But
I think it's trying to buy full strength Sudafed without ID.
okay. I know that you should not buy a is it inkjet? It might be an inkjet printer. You should not buy more than 2 on a credit card.
Oh yeah. Sometimes you have to call up your card to say that you're making a large purchase, or else they automatically flag it.
They'll still dime you out to the government. Like
Wow.
there's no reason you should have many printers. In fact, I've registered both of my Epson printers, and I know good and damn well that when I've been thinking about getting one more just because, and I'm like, if I get another printer, they're gonna dime me out. They're gonna tell the government, hey, this guy has 3 printers in his house. Go pay a little visit.
Oh, brother.
Yeah, pay a little visit over there. See what he's printing. I knew an idiot who had a bunch of printers, but he was printing. He was printing illegal currency. And
oh well, yeah, that could be an issue. Sure, yeah.
So they paid a visit to him and shut him on down.
I'm sure.
Yeah, gave him a nice free room and board for a couple of years.
Yeah, that would do it. Yeah.
So when you're doing these campaigns, you guys don't put that break in between. Is that on purpose, or is that just?
Well, JD is now, like, when we did our first Kickstarter, it was so stressful. We didn't do another Kickstarter for, I think, like about a year and a half. But once we kind of like got the hang of it, now JD especially, he can't not be running a campaign. Like he's completely addicted to it. Like he doesn't it's either Kickstarter or Indiegogo. He has to be running something for him to feel like he's accomplishing something. Me, on the other hand, when I do my campaigns, I like to have the space in between. One, because Kickstarter gets a little persnickety about running campaigns too close back to back. But also I need the breather to put together the rewards, to get stuff printed out and whatnot. So February I'm spending, putting together everything and whatnot so that the everything can go out in March. And then I have, I have my next Tall Tales Kickstarter scheduled for, I think, like the first week of March. So I'm kind of like alternating between, and then it's like the issue 2 of Ego Raven is in May. So it's not really a break as much as I need the time to properly put together the rewards and start sending them out before I start the new campaign. Like for this year, I think I have, like, just for myself, I have 7 campaigns.
Wow.
Scheduled.
Ooh.
I have 3 Tall Tales and 4 Ego Raven. 4 or 5. Yeah, that's 7. Just do my quick math there.
That's a lot of stuff. Lola was setting up her campaign page. Was it? Did you start 2 days ago? Was it 2 days?
Yesterday.
It was yesterday. Okay, and we she and I had to have a talk this morning, which was a come to Jesus talk. Because she was, though she is, in graphic design, it's like, look, you need to really.
Me and Daphne had this conversation.
Yeah.
You have to start looking at what other people are doing.
Yeah.
The cool thing is that everybody's done all the hard work for you.
Yeah. You want to definitely learn from other people just for that, just to save yourself the time.
I remember the first time I like, there's that book Still Like an Artist, and
yeah.
And I remember the first time, I'm like, well, let me, I just started tooling around with stuff on Photoshop, making my own versions of it. Geek Speak says, I still feel like I'm recovering from my Kickstarter, and it's been a week since it finished successfully. Yeah.
No, it's a marathon, and I mean, I've literally run half marathons, and it feels the same way. You know, you're just out of it for the week, but you know, you got to start getting stuff done.
But even setting up the campaign is hard, because like Lola was getting ready to, excuse me, Lola was getting ready to put out some visual images on her campaign that I'm like, no, you know, let's wait a bit, you know, and because I think that sometimes we all, you know, oh well, this person's doing it, I want to do that too,
right?
And we sometimes jump the gun. We don't take into account, well, yeah, they're doing this, but they spent 2 months putting together all their graphics, writing down and refining their pitch over and over and over again. We don't always see that, and some people make it look very easy. I mean, I was looking, like if you look at Daphne and Meredith's campaign, especially, they got graphics for every tier.
Yeah.
You know, I've seen people do that really well, and I think people do horrible jobs at it.
Well, because I feel it's important for people to actually see what they're getting. I mean, one of my pet peeves about some campaigns is that I read the whole thing and I don't understand at all what I'm supporting, like what I'm getting or anything. So my goal is to make it as clear as possible as to what the campaign is, what I'm offering, what you're getting. And that's kind of, you know, my main focus on the page. I mean, to tell you the truth, it's like I'm actually starting to make graphics for issue 2 right now, just to, you know, just to get that process started.
And here we go. Yes, you back this project. I'm gonna give it a little frowny face real quick.
Oh no, don't give me the frowny face.
So you finished out the campaign. I'm trying to. Is there no way for me to? Okay, yeah. There we go. Campaign's finished out. Nice and fun. Now is this like? No, I guess it's if I can view my pledge. So you can't go into like on demand on Kickstarter, right? There's no.
No, it doesn't work like that. No.
But like this stuff, like the you know, the logo nice and big here at the drop shadow makes the logo pop off the page. You got graphics here.
Yeah.
You know, down here, nice, you know, images of the art. It's not fool's page, so you're not giving too much away.
No, I mean, it's like it's just enough to show that the book is complete at time of the campaign.
Right.
I mean, yeah, it's like it has no lettering, you know, it's just small enough for you to just see that it's done. And then it's like, you know, I have the credits. I try to keep a formula for, you know, just so it's like, so for my next campaign, all I'm doing is taking pretty much the same layout that I have here and then just plugging in new information and new graphics.
Right.
Because, you know, it's like, if you do as many campaigns as we do, you don't want to reinvent the wheel every time you do one. You know, you have to do the campaign. Right. So if you can just come up with a template that you could just input new information into, that's like, you know, that saves you a lot of time.
Yeah, and it looks good. It's nice and colorful. I mean, and it helps too that you got the physical books right there in hand.
Yeah, right yeah, that's the thing too. It's like I proofed this like back in October.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, I was just really, really determined to have everything done by the time the campaign started. Yeah, because I you know, because it's like, you know, there's a lot of people for some reason or another, like either that campaign is to pay to get the work done, you know, so they don't have their book finished, or they're using the campaign to get the work done. I mean, it's like, you know, everyone has their reasons as to why they run a campaign the way they do. For me, it's like I'd rather have everything finished and ready to go. So it's like right now, the campaign's over. All I have to do is just look over, give my files a once over, and it's ready to go. I don't have to sit down and put together anything because I already did that 2 months ago.
Yeah.
And in that 2 months, I tweaked everything. And then by now it's like, okay, there's nothing left. There's no more to do.
Yeah.
You know.
And it's also dangerous. You got to get it out there because if you're like me, you start thinking, maybe I can add this. Maybe I can add that.
Well, that's okay. Okay. So Geek Speak is asking, do you prefer Indiegogo or Kickstarter, or does it matter? Well, the thing with Indiegogo and Kickstarter is that, you know, right off the bat, it's two different audiences. So you have to take that in consideration. Because I've done most of my work on Kickstarter, I'm used to it, and I have an audience already on Kickstarter that looks for me on Kickstarter. So that helps too. On Indiegogo, I have to start from scratch. So I originally was going to do a 21-day campaign on Indiegogo to follow this. But after really, really looking into it, I decided that for Indiegogo, what's probably better for me is to wait until I have the first 4 issues done and then do the campaign for those 4 issues at the same time, you know, or at the first 4 issues and then a trade, because next year I want to do the first trade for this, because I think that the people on Indiegogo, they prefer more completed works, you know, like trades and stuff. So I decided I was going to do that instead. So I'll fill you in what, you know, if my hunch is right.
Yeah. You know, that
Thank
sounds.
you, John. Thank you, John.
Sounds like a good idea. Michael Floyd says hello.
Hello.
Now, Lola, what have you learned? She's like, nothing.
What have I learned? It's stressful.
Yes,
already.
It is. It's, yeah, no, and that's also a reason why I have the space in between campaigns, because I need the time to start putting everything together. I mean, if you look at my latest update that I posted to everybody on for the campaign, I've already posted the cover for issue 2. So I'm already starting to put that out.
Let's see. Let me take a look.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah. So that's the cover for issue 2.
That looks cool.
Thank you. You know, so already, you know, it's like, even though the campaign is in May, the grind starts now.
Yeah. Is that that looks cool. I wonder if I'm sorry. I wonder if I'll fix that 1 second. There. I wonder if when you release these covers earlier, does that, you see that build up hype at all? People are like, oh man, I can't wait for that second issue. I remember that second issue is getting ready to come out. I need to.
I hope so. I mean, that is the idea. So, you know, and also, like I said, it's proof that, you know, like, the work is there. You know, it's like, it's not, you know, it's like I have 4 issues, 5 issues. I have 5 issues pretty much ready to go. I'm relettering everything now, and I just have to color everything in. Oh, thank you, Michael. Thank you. Yeah. So you see, people are hyped up already.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, yeah. I mean, you know, it's like, yeah, it seems, you know, in the end, it's like, it's just me. I'm not a big publisher. I don't have billions of dollars behind me, you know, so I can't, you know, I don't have the resources to, you know, to spend big bucks on advertising and stuff. So the you know, the thing that I do is like, okay, I'm going to start annoying everybody now.
Yeah. I mean, that's what I would do. Lola, this you were doing some graphics, and you know, me and you we had a difference of opinion. Well, actually, you didn't state if you thought that was incorrect about the graphics you were doing for your campaign. But it's weird because I was like, I don't want to step on her because it's her campaign.
Right.
I don't want to be like, no, don't do this, don't do that, don't do that. But sometimes I'm thinking, I like to give my opinion when she asks for it, or when I see her about to make a horrible misstep.
Oh, boy.
And I'm like, look, you can't do this. You can't. Would you agree, Lola, that the graphic that you were going to use? Would you agree it wasn't a good version of? It wasn't a good take.
No, it was subpar and boring.
Oh, I'm sorry. Hold on. It was what?
Subpar and boring. After looking over it, it's like, yeah, I'm glad that he stopped me.
Right. I mean, it's like, yeah, you want to make sure that you put forward pretty much your best foot, and with heels like that, you want to, you really want to represent your book in the campaign the best possible way you can. Yeah, it's like from the video to the graphics to everything, because this is how people are going to decide whether they're interested in your book or not.
Mm-hmm.
Even we were talking this morning about putting together pitches and creating just like one-liners that bring real people in. It's
helpful.
I mean, it's all planning. It's like none of this is by accident. It's all like, well, is it better like this, or is it better like this? Is it better like this, or is it better like that? It's kind of like going to the eye doctor. You're kind of like constantly switching lenses to see, like what feels the best to represent your book.
Yeah.
I feel that one of the dangers is, and you guys tell me if I'm wrong, but Daphne, you said this earlier, a couple of days ago, but you did really well in this book. You kind of cursed yourself. You be chasing this win for a while. 133 backers. Was that the most yet on a single campaign?
That is crazy. You see, the funny thing is, okay, and here's the thing too, because it's like, what happened was that I was looking at the wrong number. I was kind of like obsessing on the wrong number.
Okay.
Because it's like, because I made the mistake of comparing this to my previous campaign, which was House of Bob sketchbook, which is a freaking porn sketchbook.
Yeah, you can't compare two different genres.
Yeah, exactly. But but that's how crazy running these campaigns makes you. It's like you start, thinking weird. And what happened was that I thought that I was coming up short because it wasn't meeting the standards held by the previous campaign.
Yeah.
But I was missing the forest for the trees, because then I realized, it's like, wait a minute, I have 133 backers. I've never had that many backers. I think the most the most that I had was for Tall Tales issue 3 and 4, and we had 81 backers.
Okay.
So this completely blew it out of the water. And I'm like, wait a minute, I have 133 people interested in this book. That's not something to sneeze at.
No.
And the thing is too, is that also the major difference is that my House of Bob was an expensive campaign. I mean, I made this pretty much a little bit more money on like 14 backers or something. But that's because it was a lot of really expensive tiers. I mean, it's like I had like a whole bunch of people buying $250 commissions, $60 sketchbook sets. So yeah, I could make the same money with less people. But on this book, it's completely different. I mean, the main tier was my $10 physical print. I mean, physical copy. But it's like, in the end, it's like those 133 people are more important. Because it's like, whoa, it's like as the series goes on, that 133 people
is going to grow.
Exactly. It's like, so, and it's like, so as they grow, then the money that campaign makes will grow accordingly.
Yeah.
you know, as more issues become available, as, you know, there's catch-up tiers and whatnot. And yeah, that's the number that I should have been paying attention to is those backers. I mean, like I said,
You
I
did
can't.
great.
Yeah. Thank you. I mean, it's like, I mean, I think about it. It's like, wow, 133 people. I can't fit that many people in my house. I mean, you figure the average classroom is like what, 35 people?
If that, my kid's classroom is 28.
Right. So we're talking about like 4 or 5 classrooms full,
Yeah.
you know, of people who want my book. So that's kind of trippy for me, because it's like my past 2 campaigns, I kind of got wrapped up in how much money I was making. And in this one, I'm like, wait a minute. Wait, that's not the point. You know?
I was gonna say.
We can't hear you.
Oh, I'm sorry. I was gonna say that there was a little while ago. There was a quote, and I'm not sure who said it. I know that Larry has mentioned it a few times, but the quote was, "Hey, listen, if all you're moving," someone said, "if all you're moving is," and if Larry was around, he probably he could correct me, but if all you're getting was, I think it's 200, 300, 400 backers on crowdfunding, that's cute. That's not real money. You're irrelevant. That's what this person said. And I'm like, what? And so that's why Larry started calling himself cute, because the person that's cute, but you're irrelevant.
Right.
And I'm like, so I'm thinking, I'm like, well, you know what? I've never moved a book on crowdfunding, so I've never. And the funny thing is, you know, I think that these numbers, the cool thing about these numbers is this, because we always say that, oh man, Marvel's moving 3,000 books, or they moved 10,000 books. They moved 10,000 books to, you know, 1,000 stores. Or sorry, not 1,000 stores, 2,000, 3,000 stores at that point. You moved 133 books to individuals who asked for this book. Yes. That's massive. That's a big number. That's
the trippy thing about it. That it's like, it's like, well, one, it's like, just like I shouldn't be comparing this campaign to a porn sketchbook. Mm-hmm. You shouldn't be comparing your numbers to Marvel. Mm-hmm. Because it's like, it's apples and oranges. You know, it's like they're really, you know, just like, you know, you can't really pay attention to the New York Times bestseller list. They're not selling to individuals. They're selling to stores.
Right.
You know, and it's like, and they're only counting what those stores are getting, not the sell-through. This is 133 people who physically bought my book, right, who literally bought my book, you know, and it's like, that's, which means, I mean, you know, it's like, there's going to be a drop off on the next issue, because there always is. I mean, you know, there's people who only collect issue 1s, or they collect the special editions or whatnot. But even though it's like, you know, even, you know, it's like, what, on the next Kickstarter, even if I make 100 people, that's still 100 people who still mm-hmm. want my book.
Mm-hmm. I talked to a gentleman who told me, he said, I don't buy, I'll buy issue 1s, but that's it. He doesn't get, he doesn't come back for issue 2 and 3, right, because it seems kind of backward, but he's hoping that you're going to release a trade.
Yeah, no, I've heard a lot of people do that. You know, and I don't blame them. I mean, because honestly, I'm kind of the same way. That probably, you know, like, yeah, okay, I'll pick up your issue 1, but I really want the collection. Mm-hmm. You know? Like, I'll pick up the issue 1 to be, you know, supportive, but in the end, it's like, what I really want is the trade. Mm-hmm. You know, so I you know, that's the thing. I can't. Yeah, thank you. Yeah.
Getting a trick away to more relevant than the money right now. That was a follow.
Yeah, it took me a little bit to realize that. She'll
have a storm in Comic-Con in no time.
Yeah, I hope so.
Go in there. I'm right there with you. Walk off the other direction.
Because in the end, it's like, I'm sure you must have heard this, this theory that it's like, the thousand, what you need is 1,000 true fans in order to support yourself. So it's like, so it's like if you build up to 1,000 true fans who spend about $100 every time you put out something, you're good. So you actually don't need a lot of people. Although statistically you kind of do, because like to get those 1,000 fans, it's like you probably do need about like, I don't know, 20,000 people to be, following your stuff. So, the percentages, it's a numbers game in the end.
And you like, I've had people, tell me, well, I'll buy issue 1 and I'll come back when you do the trade.
Yeah.
And that's fine. I mean, because now well, okay, so I got you in for this $25 book that you're gonna have to get,
Right.
And you get, and some people too, they don't come back because they don't make. It's not always I don't like your story. It's I don't have the money.
Yeah.
I forgot about you. There were other things going on at that time. That's why it's always good to release when you do this issue 2, if you can, have a catch up tier in there.
Yeah, no, that's very important. Yeah, that's very important.
Issue 1 now. And now I've heard people tell me, and you guys tell me how you feel about this. There's 2 things.
Yeah.
Let's get Daphne's blood boiling. But now, Indie Princess, you got a campaign you're launching a campaign, so let's get your blood boiling too. Apparently there's a gentleman out there. I know Tyler Carpenter covered it. I don't remember names or anything, but there's a gentleman who is he put out a book and then realized that he had more books than what he knew that he needed to move. He had more books than he thought he was going to get. And so he started a second chance on the books.
Okay.
That were now cheaper to get into than his initial backers.
Oh, okay. I kind of heard about this.
Yeah.
It's, it's really funny. It's the comparison that I can make with that are people who are, when we used to do conventions, that we would do the 50% off sale on Sundays.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's like, which, because you don't want to bring that stuff home.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's like, it's kind of weird because then all the people who spent who spent pretty much full retail during the rest of the convention, they see you selling it for 50% off on Sunday.
Yeah.
And what happened is that we began to see a lot of people who tell us like, oh yeah, I wait until Sunday to see whether people do the 50% off.
Yeah.
So it's kind of weird. I mean, because in the end, you are at a convention. It's like you are taking a chance that they'll still have copies to sell at 50% off. Because it could be possible that I sell out Friday and Saturday, and by Sunday I don't have anything.
Yeah,
you know,
should be great. But yeah, I see. Like, and I've argued with that with Lola because she'll be like, "Let's mark this down." I'm like, "No, we just sold one 5 minutes ago at full price. We cannot all of a sudden mark it down. We have to at least wait."
Friday, I'd understand.
Yeah, yeah. I trust. And now there have been times where I've not sold anything, and you get like 3-4 hours into that Friday. She'll open at 10 o'clock on Friday morning, and it gets around 1-2 o'clock, and you're like, "Hey, we haven't sold anything, have we?" No, and you start bringing up
questioning yourself.
Start questioning. You start bringing up the geography of the area and the money they make in it.
Right.
You start being very scientific very quickly.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, if you think running a Kickstarter is stressful, being at a convention and doing that type of on the spot research.
Yeah. When you open your phone up and you start pulling up the median income of the area you're in.
Right. It's like the weather, and then you bring up the weather, and then you bring up what else is going on. Is there a sports thing going on? Is the weather nice? Yeah.
I thought that was kind of, like if you drop the price of your books, which also made me wonder when you do that catch up tier,
right?
Is it? I know it can be costly, But would it be better to maybe say, okay, here's a catch-up tier, and by the way, these are all going to be second printings of these catch-up issues, because those first issues are gone, or they're in our store, or they're on my eBay for more now. Because why it's not really about money to us as independent guys.
Right.
It's like you hate to screw all the people who came early and supported you.
Well, yeah, it's kind of tough. Like, I mean, the funny thing is that ever since print on demand became a thing, having to tell people it's a second printing or a third printing seems kind of irrelevant. Because it's like, like if I'm printing like 100 books at a time, do you really want to know if it's like this a fifth printing, or something? I mean, it's like, I think with big printers, if you're printing like 50,000 at a time, 1,000,000 copies at a time, I mean, I don't know, maybe that means something, but with print on demand, it's like I never really concerned myself with, if this is first printing, second printing, third printing, because sometimes we can get like multiple printings, within a couple of months, and it's like, I'm not going to change the files just for that.
You know what I've seen Peter Samedi does, and I said that's kind of cool, is that everyone's saying congratulations, by the way, Daphne.
Thank you.
Pops. Hello, Pops.
Thank you.
Yeah. Russell Allen says hello.
Hello.
And Michael Floyd says, this is why I love indie creators, pure passion. It makes the content so much more appreciated.
Yeah. I was talking about this to JD the other day, and I also mentioned it on one of the previous shows, that the thing that I love about this is that you really do see the pure passion that people put into their projects. Like, I love it when people say, I've been working on this thing for 20 years. It's like I thought I was being crazy. Like, it's like, I spent 20 years putting this project together, but it's actually pretty common. I mean, people get this seed and they don't know what to do with it, so they just noodle with it until poof, they finally get the chance to do something. I mean, and this is your stuff, it's like, I mean, no one is going to be a bigger fan of you than you. Yeah. So, it reflects that. I mean, it's like, there's this rant that Ralph Bakshi did where he was talking about, like, he couldn't understand people who made it their life's passion to work at Disney. And it's like, with computers, he goes, with the computers the way they are and everything, you could do your own stuff in your basement and do what you want to do. Why do you want to waste your time being, it's like aspiring to make somebody else money, to be passionate about somebody else's work, that you're just going to be a cog in the machine. It's like, and then it's like, they fire you the second it's done. It's like, why do you want to put yourself through that?
Yeah. I've talked to friends about that, and they're like, they act like I'm speaking French. But
there you go. Yeah, noodling. Yeah, I'm going to send you those updated files, Randy.
But I'll tell you this, and I recently I made a comment on my Facebook about, again, this being personal to a lot of us.
Yeah.
And I said, so that phrase, someone says, oh yeah, man. Yeah, sorry I did this to you. Hey, it wasn't personal, it's just business. And it's like, spoken like somebody who doesn't have a like creative bone in their body. And a lot of people will agree. And then there's one jackhole on my Facebook that says, okay, Karen. And I almost got upset. And I almost went to his Facebook to make his life a living hell. And then I realized the guy beat me to it.
Oh, okay. There you go.
Because this is the most uncreative individual.
Right.
What did he do? He just uncreative, just not.
No, usually, yeah, there's way too many people who want to latch onto our coattails without doing anything.
Yeah.
So it's like, oh yeah, and I saw that post too. And it's like, always beware somebody who says it's just business, it's not personal. What it is that what they're really saying is that what's personal to you, they don't care about.
Yeah.
So it's like that. So it's like, well, I don't know why you're upset. It's just business. And it's like, bitch, my work is my business.
Yeah. Yeah. It's like And I think some of the ballsy acts that we've seen, especially lately in the last 8 or 9 months, something we wouldn't have seen before. I think the reason why we're seeing a lot of that too is because we don't have conventions,
Right?
And the idea that, hey, I'm gonna see you next month isn't that threat doesn't loom as large as it used to.
Right. Yeah.
And honestly, I think when we get back to having cons again, I think we will. I think it's going to be some tense couple of shows for people because we have been around each other and we've had this we've had the beauty of the screen between us.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's going to be gone. And all of a sudden, some people need to start worrying. You know what? I might want to watch my back at this con. Maybe maybe not inside the show, but when I'm loading up, and I'm loading up, and I got my kid in the back seat, and they're all locked up, and the
lucky thing about it is that 99% of the people who posture online are all cowards in real life. That's why they're acting the way they're acting online. So I mean, I wouldn't be too worried about that.
See, my fear is that some of them are posturing to the real ones. The ones who are about that life.
Yeah, well, yeah, it depends. Yeah.
And it's like, hey, isn't that SOB who was, calling me, what's
right.
Isn't that him filling up his car right now? Hold on, let me get this rock real quick.
Right.
Now he's mollywopped in the back of his head.
I don't think I mean, it's like I had a situation at a convention where there was this other publisher who was goofing on me for my furry art, and it's like, and he was literally he had his table across from me, and he was just making snarky comments and and just being all around rude. But in the end, all I did was just smile and wave and just be polite to him, and it's yeah, it's funny, whatever. And then by the end of the show, he came up to me and apologized for being an asshole the whole time. Yeah. Because in the end, it's like what? You're the one acting up, not me. I'm selling a book. It's like
Well, it was at the end of the show. He was scared. He knew it was going to go down. You might catch him in the parking lot, and
Well, but also it's I'm the nice one. It's JD's the one behind me giving everyone a look.
See, you didn't see JD. You probably went to the bathroom. JD went over there, had a couple of words with him, told him to, get it together, or Rick was gonna meet the back of his head. It's a big city. Things happen.
Yeah, because it's JD is all that. So I heard you wanted to say something to me, life.
Yeah. Hey, listen,
Speaking of JD, let's bring up his campaign real quick.
Oh yeah. So that is
the one that just started.
Yes, that started. The pretty much 5 minutes after my campaign ended, I launched his campaign. So
do I need to? Is it on? It's on Kickstarter, right?
It's on Kickstarter, yeah.
Do you need the link? I can. Right.
Dave is in the house. Hello, Dave.
Hey, Dave.
Here we go. The Chronicles of Oswald. We were just passing through. Can I play the video?
It's short. It's short, and I don't think you would have a problem with the with the sound, with the music.
You guys hear that?
Hello, everyone. This is JD Calderon, creator of the Oswald Chronicles. And I'm here to tell you about We Were Just Passing Through, a tale where a group of Calcians, an ancient magic-wielding race, find themselves on the run from their enemies, the Grogs. Their mounts tired and still far from home, Calcians find their way onto the malls of Park Avenue and Oswald's home. Attempting to forget warrior queens and their armies, Oswald and his newfound friends find themselves once again involved in a power struggle that could decide the fates of two races while introducing Oswald to new forms of magic he never dreamt of. We're also offering up the prose chapbook, The Trial of Oswald, where Oswald must answer for the destruction of the Mar Empire and their capital city, Wendara. Please go check out the various reward levels where we have silver, sketch, and virgin covers available. So choose the one that best suits you and live the dream of a mouse most fantastic. JD out.
Yeah, the special thing about this series, so this is a new chapter in the Oswald Chronicles series. So if you've never picked up Oswald before, this is a good jumping point because this is the start of a new story. So it's an issue 1.
I guess.
Yeah. So yeah, it's not a continuation. I mean, the story in part of the whole is a continuation, but this is an issue 1. It's a brand new story, so everyone can jump on here. And the thing is that this story, this is the first time it's in comic book format. It is in comic book format. Before, it only existed as a prose story in one of the original hardcover volumes that we did. So yeah, so this is so if you're not familiar with the Oswald Chronicles, this would be a good point to pick up. To pick up the series.
Let's see. Were there any changes between the prose version and this?
Oh, you would have to ask JD that. Yeah, because I mean, he's it's like it's he's the one with the intimate knowledge of the difference between the prose and the and the comic. Although I do remember him saying that the biggest challenge was realizing, like switching from prose, like what he would be describing in prose, and not pulling like a Chris Claremont on the pages where it's like he's describing what's in the panel already.
Mm-hmm.
And just like keeping everything pretty much to the dialogue and trusting the artwork to do the heavy lifting, I guess, in terms of visuals. So yeah, I remember him mentioning that was like the big difference.
Good old Oswald.
Uh-huh.
I love that mouse. He's no Nicodemus, but
well, hey.
Yeah, we can't all be Nicodemus, right? Yeah. I think that probably what really like upset me if like my wife was like, I'm not a favorite artist. I'm not. Her favorite artist is J. Scott Campbell.
Oh, okay.
It was Al Rio, but Al Rio passed away. So she had to find a new living artist, and she decided on J. Scott Campbell, and which upset me because I'm like, what? And I'm like, I thought I would have moved up because I thought that, oh, it's Al Rio, which is, no shame, and then me.
Oh,
and then to find out that I'm not even on the list. I'm not top 5. I'm not top 6. I'm not top 10. I might be top 10. I might be in the top 10.
Like top 30.
Yeah, I just know that I think quite. I jump up and down the list, but.
I mean, it's like, look, if it makes you feel any better, I'm not on my top 10.
yeah.
I'm not on my own top 10. So.
Yeah, and it's funny. It's funny because I know I'm not. I'm not on my own top 10 either. I'm like me. Maybe top 20, because there are some people that I know that I draw better than. I'll just go ahead and put that out there. But in terms of characters, though, if my wife told me my character wasn't a favorite character, I might get a little bent out of shape about that. But
well, yeah.
What do you mean such a favorite? You suck. What do you like? Who do you like? Huh? Who do you like? Blade? Is that who you like? Nothing's wrong with Blade, by the way. Nothing's wrong with Blade. Blade's a good character. I got a Blade hot toy. Given to me, left to me by my good friend Keith, who passed away, creator of Into the Suck. It's he had that sent over to me after he passed away, and I had just begun to like stop crying. When after he passed away, and then I got that in the mail. And
wow, it's kind of like opening John Wick, right?
Yeah, it was like
a hot toy instead of a puppy.
Yeah, I was like, oh man. And Lola, remember, I don't know if you remember this, Lola. I came home and I had to walk to the mailbox, and I'm like, why is there a package here from Keith? Wait a minute. And I get home and I open it, and now there's tears everywhere, and I'm like, so it took me about a good 4 days to calm down and finally put it up. But yeah, don't send me anything if you die, people. Don't send me anything. Just let me hold on to the memories. Leave the memories alone. Anyway, Lola.
It's nice to get a hot toy.
yeah. It was nice to get a hot toy. I would rather have Keith, but it was nice to have a hot toy. And I had some other hot toys, but you know, it's weird having his in there because I know why it's there, and that's and it happens to be Blade, Wesley Snipes' Blade. So it's like, oh man, every time I look up there, I see like, oh, look at that Blade. Oh shit, I know why that Blade's there. Let's look at Lola's page. Or Lola, could you bring the page up? Can you share it? Let's look at Lore, which Daphne read the first 10 pages of.
Yeah. And it's kind of crazy go nuts. So the tagline that we came up with, you know, eyes wide shut meets Saw. It's like, yeah.
I told her when she was writing it, I had to read it in the notebook and she wrote it. And there was a point where I said, well, I got through about 5 or 7 pages. And I said, oh, well, excuse me. She said, where are you going? I said, I'm going to take a shower. Cold one. There were things in that book that I did not appreciate.
Right.
I was like, I didn't make it 5 pages in until I was like, hey.
Yeah, I have to admit, I was kind of like, wait, whoa. Whoa. So this dynamic, man. Yeah.
So here it is, Lore.
But that's good though, because it's like it's like what JD told me this morning, you know, as part of the overall advice. It's like you have to hook them in the first 10 pages.
Yeah.
You know, so it's like, you definitely hooked. You definitely hooked.
Yeah, people are gonna don't let your kids read the book. Don't let your kids read it.
No, don't let your kids read the book.
I've been trying to figure out, is that proper? It all started with an invite or a invite. Oh well, it doesn't matter. Because I think I would say it all started with an invite.
I think it's an invite because it's a vowel.
Yeah.
It's following a vowel or something, or it's like
it's like public school here, guys. We have to hurry. I have to move on to other things in school. Right. Here it is, Lola. Though, so you can sign up right now for the mailing list, Lola. Right. Fantastic artwork there. Dave Brown doing
so Lola, did you kind of like get like 2 sentences you can use to describe the book so far?
Man, after we got off the meeting today, I had so much other stuff to do. I haven't had time to do anything. I've been working on Indiegogo stuff and all, dealing with the kid and yeah. I haven't had time.
Right. So okay, let me give it a shot here. So Lure is the story about a mild-mannered accountant who works for high-profile clients, and his relationship with his incredibly hot and high-maintenance wife, who's addicted to sex parties. and she's determined to earn a very special invite that they eventually do get, but at what cost? So how does that sound?
You did a good job.
Right.
I felt bad for the guy.
No, I did too. I was like, oh wow, this is a lot rougher than I thought. Yeah.
Don't do it. Oh, you're doing.
Yeah, that it's like, you know, it's kind of like, you know, how far do you go for the woman you love type of thing, you know?
To the corner store.
Oh, it gets.
Oh well.
It's full of action, and you're always going to be questioning what's going to happen next.
Right.
I read it.
And the end is just full, and it's full of surprises. There's a lot.
Good. Yes. We'll leave the ending at that. Just, you know. But yeah, those first 10 pages will hook you in, you know, as to the dynamic of this couple and what's on the line.
I'll tell you this. I was shocked that she wrote it. I knew she could write it.
Mm-hmm.
And we always joke about one of those stories that stick with you after you read it.
Right.
Watch a movie and sticks with you and haunts you for a while afterwards.
Yeah.
And it does. That does this.
Uh-huh.
But the other thing, for me personally, is I know the woman who wrote it. And that concerns me greatly. I'm a little wild about it.
I'm gonna put the link to it in the chat so everybody has it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I signed up for the update.
Awesome.
So everyone else signed up for the update too.
Yes. I appreciate it.
Yeah. Does it tell you on the back end like how many people have signed up already?
It does.
Okay, that's good. That's good.
Definitely have you. Bye.
No talking with your mouth full.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm mouth full of sucker. I'm sorry. I don't know if you guys hear me crunching in the background. So, yeah. Would that be your first time signing up for anything with Indiegogo before?
No. The for Indiegogo, I actually opened up an Indiegogo to sign up for Russ Leach's book, Only Death Can Save Us. I signed up for an Indiegogo just to do that, so now I might as well take advantage.
Thank you, Russ.
Should I pull up the thing I made today?
What thing you make today?
Sneak peek at some of the tier rewards.
Oh, yeah, show them.
Oh, yeah, that would be good. That would be good. Yeah, because you showed me some stuff that I think people will find interesting as to what they're getting.
I may pick the hell out of it too, though.
Uh-huh.
I may pick the hell out of it. Like, well, here we go.
Yeah.
So the bottle key opener that we see right here, that is part of a tier, and it references back to the book. Everything pretty much. Well, the ring and the bottle opener key, those are actually in the book. So you'll have those. Then I got some holographic stickers as I just lost my train of thought.
The enamel pen.
Huh?
Yeah, the enamel pen.
Yeah, and then
and condoms.
That I think. Now the thing is though, it's like my only concern is whether Indiegogo will allow you to put the condoms up.
Mm.
You know, that's my only concern. Actually, referring to a previous question on one of their earlier shows. You know,
that's
I'm
stretch goal, and the enamel pen's a stretch goal, the sticker's a stretch goal. From what I was reading, as long as it doesn't show nudity or like a toy or something like that, it should be okay.
Right. So I guess you can consider it a novelty item.
Yeah. As long as they got the package, right?
Yeah. It can't be like straight out like nudity or a doll or anything like that.
Could we call it prophylactic?
Can we do what?
Call it a prophylactic, personal tool. Yeah.
I mean, that would. I mean, because I think that's hysterical. But yeah,
it's a nasty word. Can't we call it a Jimmy hat?
I'll think of something creative for it instead of condoms. But yeah, that's a sneak peek. There's more to come. I just made that today.
I got it.
Novelty prophylactic.
No, I got it. I figured it out. A wang coat.
Oh boy. Sit down before you hurt yourself.
I thought you guys like my wang coat. Okay. WANGCOAT. Great. Thank you. I'm the type of person that gets kicked out of a lot of business meetings. Man, you can go outside now.
I would say. The funny thing is that there would be your own business meeting, so that would be an issue.
Everybody looks on the table. You're only here because you own the company. Your name's on the door. That's it.
Exactly.
Your ideas have all been bad.
Yeah. So how many pages? So how many pages is this trade again? So so we're talking about. So Lure is an 80-page trade paperback.
80 to 90 square bound.
Okay. So it's going to be like a full, complete story.
It is. There might be another spin-off to it. I'm still debating. I mean, I have the story in my head.
Yeah, that's the worst part.
But that one will also be the same as the first book.
Okay.
I'm just doing them all in one. I don't want to do single issues. I wanted just to collect it all into one.
I mean, yeah, there's debate about that too, as to whether is it better to split it into individual issues, doing trades, it goes back and forth. I mean, it's like, with us, it's like we did the trade, we started our Kickstarter career with a trade, and we realized that doing individual issues was not necessarily more convenient, but something that a lot of people liked because they like to collect, like different covers and everything. And then it's like, there's people like me who prefer, like, I'll do the first issue and a trade.
I like trades too.
Yeah. So
this book wouldn't have been good as single issues.
It doesn't break down that way.
It doesn't break down that way at all.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, it's a great book. Everyone will enjoy it. It will hook you in wanting more.
Yeah. Like I said, those first 10 pages definitely hooks you in.
Everybody needs to sign up for the email.
Yes. So please do. Yes, sign up for the email because we're working hard on this.
I pitched her a tagline for the book.
Okay.
A tagline for the campaign, and she told me no. So
no. So what was it? Can you share?
I'd be happy to share.
Okay.
It was Lure. It won't leave a dry crotch in the house.
Yeah. Maybe we should sit on that one for a while.
I'll see myself out again.
Yeah.
It all started with an invite is better.
Yeah, I think so too. Yeah.
I see how you guys are. My ideas keep tossed out.
It's like, we prefer to be a little bit more subtle.
And she knows when I give her ideas. It's like, let's hear it and let's run it past our let's run it past our good idea sensors. Let's see if we
standards. Well, that's what standards and practices are for.
Yeah.
It's like you buy them and see. Hey.
Joe brought Daphne's book. Looking forward to reading it.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, now I know with Ego Raven, that's been something you've been working on for a while. So it's finally out there. How was that? Now the campaign's closed, the books are going out. As this, like, you've been working on a book for a while. How many years was it?
I've been noodling with it for 20 years.
Is the weight off your shoulders now? Does it feel different not having it out there?
It's funny when I finished the script. So the entire series is complete, scripted. So there is an ending. I know exactly where it's going. I just need to draw out, issues 6 through 15. That weight was lifted. The second I realized I wrote the last word, the last line of that story arc, I literally had a breakdown. It's like I was like laughing hysterically for no reason for like 15 minutes because I couldn't believe that it was done and this weight came off my shoulders. The only problem is because my brain is stupid. All of a sudden it's like, hey, now that you have this done, how about doing this?
Yeah.
So now my brain is full again with sequel ideas and and follow-up stuff. There's like a supplement story that I want to do that kind of like it's all in the same world. And they kind of like relate to each other, but they're just separate stories. And it's like, now I'm playing around with that. And it's like, I barely got the first issue out and I'm already thinking like 20 issues ahead,
Mm-hmm.
15, after,
When I created the comic that I've been working on for about as long, that was a situation with me. And the reason why the world, and it's the weirdest shit, and I don't think I've ever mentioned this, but there are characters in The Begotten that were supposed to be antagonists to the main character were killed. And these characters were a vampire girl named XP, a occult hunter named Jeremiah Cross, and they were going to be bad guys.
Right.
And I started, and as I wrote them, like, oh, I think he's a bad guy, but he's not really, he's a bad guy to my character, not so much a bad person. So I started writing details for his life.
Yeah.
And I'll write an origin story for him. Well, tell me, I don't understand how this is possible, but XP and Jeremiah Cross got their books out before the book.
No, that's exactly, it's like the way, it's like on a goof. Okay. It's like, cause it's like on a goof. I wanted my own version of Loki, just as a goof, it was just like, I wanted, because it's like, it's like just really quick, Eagle Raven, one of her powers, I guess you could say, is that she can access a space, like dream space. And this is where like all the gods and their guardians reside. And I thought it would be funny just in my head, because it doesn't happen in the in the main storyline where she meets Loki. But of course, it's like it has to obviously be my version of Loki. I mean, I'm not writing fanfic, although it kind of started off as fanfic, but then it's like, oh, no, I want my own version of Loki. So I designed I designed my own Loki. And then it's like, the more I started like just messing around with this character, God damn it, he became his own character. And now it's like he's part of my universe at the very end of it. Like the next story, like I literally I have the 15 issues. And then I have one story that I was noodling with to be like, okay, like I guess like a sequel or a continuation, but just like just a separate side adventure. And then it's like, I'm introducing Loki in this story. And so now it's like, he's technically now part of my canon. And it's like, brain, stop doing that. It's like, no, we're adding more characters.
Adding characters. I realized the other day that I wanted an Iron Man.
Yeah.
It's funny that you mean. I want an Iron Man type character. Yeah. And I got fit into my universe. And then the weird thing was I started, playing with the Tony Stark stereo, the archetype. Yeah. But the problem was I couldn't figure it out. And going through an old hard drive, I came on these old. I used to be a part of this superhero writing group. We make our own heroes.
Yeah.
And I was looking at some of the characters I made, and turns out about 12, 13 years ago, I actually already created a character. So I was able to take a lot of that and mix it in there. And it's going to be hopefully I'll be able to find a better artist than me to draw, because it's a lot of like, I'm not very good with all that tech. I mean, I could draw, but then you guys won't see the book to 2023.
Oh, so wow. It's tough when it's like you struggle with certain things.
Yeah, I just don't want to draw all that tech. It's just like, I could draw it, but I just don't want to.
Yeah. But I mean, but isn't it like just great to be able to like to divorce yourself from billion-dollar IPs and like fall in love with your own original characters instead?
Yeah. Oh,
because it's like, oh, you guys can live rent free in my head for the rest of my life.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it's like extending, like you said, and I don't care how much you base your characters on existing ones, they always go their own way.
Yeah, they really do. They really do.
And they could start off a direct ripoff of Batman, Superman, whoever, but they're gonna go their own way eventually. And I think the writers are really passionate about it. That's what happens. You do got some hack-ass writers and creators out there.
There's always what Sturgeon's law. 95% of everything is crap. I mean, Try not to fall in that 5%.
Lola, you're at the end of your show.
Fall in the 5%. You know, it's the 95 you want to stay out of.
Yeah. Let's just stay at the 95%.
Yeah, we are at a little over the 1 hour mark, so it's time to wrap up for the night. We'll let Varian go first.
Oh, thank you.
Where can we find you?
Well, you guys can always find me online, Varian Grant, on most social media networks, KYD_V on Twitter. Although my Facebook is messing up. I've tried to send out 3 messages and my own picture keeps popping up in the chat box. It's like I'm messaging myself. It's the weirdest thing. I'm probably gonna have to shut my computer down and reboot it and see if that clears up the issue.
Yeah, I'm waiting for a new computer to come in. So yeah.
So that's where you guys can find me. WhenWeRiot.com, official website, LastCallComics.com, my publishing company, IndieVolt, Liberty Entertainment Distribution Group, LEDG.US. If you want to get your independent comic book in stores, that's your first stop. Your only stop. One place you'll need. Liberty. Liberty. Oh, that's not us. That's not us. Okay. Well, yeah.
And then Miss Daphne, where can we find
you? So you can find me at my main portfolio site, egoworks.com, EGOWORKS. There you're going to find all my social media, links to both my comics, Ego Raven and Tall Tales. That's TAILS. And you'll also find a link to the much requested gallery for all my uncensored House of Bob furry porn collection. So I got a little bit of everything on there.
And then you guys can find me. Just go to Linktree /indie_princess, and you'll find all my links. I have everything collected right there, so it's easy for everyone to find me on all the platforms I'm on. And then Indiegogo, look for lore on Indiegogo. The site is up. You can sign up with your email to get notifications, and we will be launching next month.
Yeah, and it's lore as an LURE.
Yeah.
For the radio audience.
Yes. Yeah, they got to go and check that out. Also, though, just before I let everyone escape, don't forget that me and Randy will be back. Definitely be there tomorrow. You be there?
Yeah, we'll be there.
Tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. for the IndieVolt Breakfast Buzz. Right here. Same geek time, same geek channel. We'll be back. And then, forgot about that. On Roku and Roku Cable TVs, IndieVolt TV. Check that out. It's free. Independent movies, long form videos just like this one that we couldn't put up on IndieVolt on YouTube because of various reasons, and some other content coming there very soon. But check those independent movies up there. It's free. Give it a shot. IndieVolt Radio, it's our radio station, available on Alexa, Google Play, and if you have an Apple iPhone, you'll download the streaming app and you'll find it. I will put it on Apple natively very soon, but I'm just waiting for a couple things to clear up from their end first.
And then if you got a question or a comment for Geekgasm, please send it into geekgasm@indievolt.com, and I will put it on our show and answer it for you. Even if you just want to say hi, drop me a comment, got a question, send it in. We'll be happy to answer it. And that is it for Geekgasm tonight, guys.
Another show. Should I take us out?
Go ahead if you want.
All right, everybody.
It's left.
Have a great night, everyone.
Bye, guys.
All right, ciao.